A little while back, I spoke at a conference in Portugal on happiness at work, and at the end of the day, I was part of a discussion panel. Now, I've done that a million times, but this time, I was shocked. One of the other panelists was the founder of this IT company in Lisbon, in Portugal. And he basically started off his part of the panel by saying that happiness at work is nonsense. Only he used a term that is a lot less polite. He said that happiness at work is a pipe dream. You cannot expect to be happy at work. What you should really do is you should work 14 hours a day like he did, incidentally. Then you will make a lot of money, and that money can buy you freedom, and then you can retire early and be free from work. And I was stunned to see that level of, backward thinking around happiness at work and creating happy workplaces. By the way, he also said that, he couldn't understand why his employees weren't happy because he spent over 1,000 euros every month on yogurts. And he also said that his company had a 60% employee turnover rate every year. And I was like, no wonder. There are also all these newspaper articles and opinion pieces saying basically, happiness at work is stupid. As I see it, this is part of a happiness backlash against happiness in general and happiness at work in particular. I've been predicting this for a while that we'd see it, and it's here, and it's amazing to watch. My problem with this backlash is that a lot of it is wrong. That it is based on a fundamentally flawed understanding of the happiness research. And that's why I've made this video. I call this video the 20 most common objections to happiness at work, and why some of them sort of have a point, but they still really miss the point and betray a stunning ignorance of the research happiness and are ultimately wrong. I need to get better at coming up with titles. Objection number 1, you can't define happiness at work. It's such a fluffy concept, nobody knows what it really is, so we might as well give up. Well, that objection happens to be wrong. There are some great definitions of happiness out there. Here's one I really like by Sonia Lyubomirsky, who's one of the leading researchers in this field. And she defines happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, combined with a sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. That's happiness in life. We could define happiness at work like this: the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being at work, combined with the sense that one's work life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. How's that for a definition? So what if we don't have one clear, agreed upon definition of happiness? This is true for many other things we care about. For instance, health. Interestingly, there is no one true, definitive definition of what health is, but that certainly does not keep us from caring about it, from making personal decisions about our own health, or even from trying to improve the health of large groups of people. For instance, the citizens in a country. Objection number 2, you can't measure happiness at work. Well, if you wanted to measure somebody's happiness at work, you know what you could do? You could ask them, hey, how happy are you at work? You could either ask an individual person, how happy are you at work, and listen respectfully to their answer, or you can use surveys to figure out how happy a group is. Objection number 3, we have no idea what it is that makes people happy at work. And that happens to be wrong as well. There is some excellent research out there looking at what it is that makes people happy at work, and we're starting to get a really good idea. Things like good leadership, nice coworkers, meaningful work. We personally, our definition of happiness at work, what makes people happy at work is results in relationships, doing great, meaningful work together with great people. This is something we know about. This is something there is a lot of research on out there. This is a meaningless objection. Objection number 4. People have no idea what makes them happy at work, so we might as well give up. There is actually a lot of truth to that objection, and many people have completely the wrong idea of what will make them happy at work. A lot of people think, if we get that perk, free fruit in the office, that'll make me really happy. It turns out not to be true. But that is no reason to give up on happiness at work. That is a reason to educate people and show what really makes us happy at work. Objection number 5. Everybody is different, so we can't make everybody happy at work. This is a really dumb argument. Sure, everybody is different, but that just means that we treat everybody differently in order to make them happy, because different people have different needs. One of my favorite quotes on this was from the CEO of a Danish bank. Actually, the happiest workplace in Denmark is a bank. And he said, the only way to treat everybody the same is to treat everybody differently. Objection number 6. If you love your job and you lose it, that will make you really sad. By that rationale, when you pick a spouse, and you marry someone, you should by all means pick somebody you don't love very much. Because if they end up leaving you, that will make you so unhappy. So pick a husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend you don't like very much. Yeah, this is a dumb argument. Being miserable in a job so that you won't be too sad when you lose that job makes no sense whatsoever. Number 7, forcing people to be happy is wrong. In general, forcing people to do anything is wrong. That is absolutely correct. But creating a great workplace where people actually love to work is the exact right thing to do. Number 8, focusing on happiness at work makes you less happy, yes, but only if you beat yourself up about not being happy. Why am I not happy at work? I should be happy at work. All my friends love their jobs. I should really be happy. If you are unhappy at work, don't beat yourself up about it. Do something about it. Become happy in the job you have, or quit and find another job where you can be happy. Number 9, happiness is a private matter. It's none of your business. But what if you're miserable at work and it affects the quality of your work? What if your misery affects everybody around you? Then those things stop being a private matter and start being something that causes a problem for the workplace and something we need to do something about. Objection number 10. I have a right to be miserable at work, and I will fight for that right. Well, sure, I guess you have that right, but why would you want that right? Doesn't it make a lot more sense to create workplaces where people actually like to work and then be happy at work? Also, what tends to happen is that when people are miserable at work, it affects everyone around them. And I can tell you from personal experience that one miserable person can ruin it for the whole team, can make 20 other people miserable at work without even breaking a sweat. And that right, you do not have. Number 11. Some people just don't like the fun and the games and all that other stupid stuff companies do to make employees happy. Well, in that case, it's a good thing that happiness at work is not just about parties and fun and games and all of that silly stuff, okay? It is also about showing people that they do a good job, giving people the competencies and the skills and the training to do a good job, telling people, praising them when they do great work and showing them that their work is meaningful. All of those things are also part of it. But never forget that having fun at work, that making room for parties and games and just an open, friendly, playful atmosphere at work is also a part of it. And if a few coworkers don't like that, they don't have to participate. But they shouldn't block it for all of the fun-loving people out there who actually are happier at work, because we have those things that are kind of silly as well. Number 12. Happiness at work is silly, it's frivolous, it's stupid, it's naive, and it's faintly ridiculous. No. Actually, happiness at work is serious business. And it turns out that happy workplaces make more money, they are more successful, they have happier customers, and a better bottom line. And it also turns out that how you feel at work has a huge effect on you as an individual. And people who are happy at work are healthier, and they do a better job, are more successful in their careers, and are happier in their private lives as well. So to say that happiness at work is somehow trivial completely misses the point, because it has such a large effect on how we perform at work and how we feel at work and at home. Number 13. Happiness at work is just about emotions and feelings come and go, so they don't matter. That completely ignores the massive amount of research in positive psychology that shows that our emotional state is not just about how we feel in the moment, but has a huge effect on many, many areas of our lives, including health, including overall well-being, including life satisfaction, and including relationships, and including work performance. While it is true that emotions come and go, and it's not really important how you feel, this very second, how you feel over time. Do you spend most of your time at work feeling good? Then that's a good thing, and it makes you healthier, happier, more productive. And if you spend most of your time at work feeling bad, experiencing negative emotions, then that will tend to make you less productive, less successful in your career, less happy in life, and ultimately sick. Objection number 14. You can't change your happiness at work. If you're unhappy at work, there's nothing you can do about it. completely ignores the massive amount of research that shows that there are many, many things you can do to affect your own happiness and the happiness of those around you. And interestingly, it turns out that many of the things that work quite well are actually quite simple, small things that anyone can do on a daily basis. Number 15, when you're happy at work, it makes you selfish, it makes you a bad corporate citizen, you care only about yourself. The truth is the opposite. It turns out that when people are happy, they are more helpful towards others, they are more generous towards others, and they are more likely to have empathy for other people. When you're having a good day, you care more about the people around you. When you're having a crappy day, you only care about yourself. You just don't have the energy to care about anyone else. This is one objection I just completely don't get, because the truth is the exact opposite. Number 16, being happy at work makes you complacent and lazy. The idea here is that only the negative and dissatisfied people ever change anything, that if you're happy, you're just complacent and lazy, and this turns out again to be completely wrong. In fact, it turns out that people who are happy are more optimistic about the tasks ahead of them, and therefore more likely to succeed in those tasks. Happy people are more innovative and will therefore find better solutions for the problems ahead of them. And happy people are more likable, so they are more likely to recruit other people to their projects, and therefore also more likely to succeed. In my opinion, the opposite is actually true, and it's the grouches and the curmudgeons who sort of give up in advance and say, yeah, we have all of these problems, but I can't do anything about them. And then they can just safely relax in their cynicism. Objection number 17, and probably the one I hear the most often: happiness at work is impossible. Everybody hates their jobs. That's just the way it is. You do realize that if I can point to just one workplace that is really happy, where people just love working, then that whole argument is invalidated. Do I need to point to just one really happy workplace? I could point to 100. Number 18, work is not about being happy. Work is about being serious and professional and getting results. Sure, but even if you do believe that, research shows very clearly that happy people do a better job. They are more productive, they are more creative, they are more motivated, more energetic, more engaged. They do a better job on almost every single aspect you can imagine. So that argument makes absolutely no sense. Number 19, I actually read this argument in a book that came out in Denmark last year, a horrible book called Be Professional at Work, Leave Your Emotions at Home. Emotions don't belong in the workplace. So here's what we know from the research. Emotions are at the core of who we are. They come with us everywhere we go. We can try to deny them. It's not going to work, okay? Just to take one example, emotions are at the core of decision making. If you think any team or any employee in any workplace anywhere can make a single decision without emotions being involved, you are completely deluding yourself. Emotions are at the core of who we are, and we need to recognize that in the workplace as well. And finally, number 20, if you expect to be happy at work, you will be disappointed. This company founder I battled in Portugal at the discussion panel, actually said precisely that. And you know what? The truth is actually the opposite. If you don't expect to be happy at work, then if you end up in a job you hate with a terrible manager, like maybe that guy, you will just accept it. And you won't do anything about it, and you will be stuck in this job you hate. On the other hand, if you expect to be happy at work, if that is part of your career ambitions, to not just have a job, but to actually have a job you love, then when you find yourself in a job situation you are not happy about, you will do something about it. And that can make you happy at work. Anything that is popular will get attacked. And the happiness movement is no exception. More and more companies and more people are realizing that being happy at work is an awesome thing, and they're focusing on that. And you can get a lot of attention online or in the media by attacking that position. And so people do. I have a completely different view of the future of work. I think work is about doing something you're good at, that makes a positive difference in the world, and doing it together with great co-workers, great people, great teams. I do not accept the premise that work has to suck. I do not accept the idea that that's just the way it is and we have to suck it up. And then maybe we can work really hard, make a ton of money, and retire and be happy. I think that model is ultimately incredibly harmful. And many people have been suckered in to exactly that kind of thinking. I think we need a break with that kind of thinking. I think we need a concerted effort to create happy workplaces and happy careers. And I think that while there are legitimate criticisms that you can raise against the happiness research and raise against the happiness movement, most of this happiness backlash just completely misses the point and just betrays a fundamental ignorance of the research in happiness. So, in my opinion, if you are an employee somewhere, make happiness at work your #1 career goal. Put that before everything else. And if you are a business owner or a manager, put happiness at work as the #1 goal of your leadership. Make sure that before anything else, you have happy employees, because when you do that, they will do a much better job. That will make the customers happier, and ultimately, your business will be more successful. Stay happy.